tackling complex societal issues, or they'll be like, this
Important
is not what we
issues.
signed up for.
Yeah. Important issues.
No, it's like, well, do you remember, did you ever read Wizard, the comic book price guide?
Yeah.
Okay, like it used to be the fucking most hilarious thing ever. And then the deal was like, they started getting like reader feedback about like, hey, all the articles that are like seriously about the collectability of things that are totally uncollectible because we don't understand how scarcity and market demand works.
Yeah.
Those are way better than the funny articles. And then the magazine stopped being funny. And I was like, this sucks. So it's like, I mean, you never know what the fuck people.
Yeah.
It's how you end up with Miranda Sings. You don't know what people are gonna want.
Yeah. Well, plus, and I'm not super worried about offending people because the whole point of this podcast is to tell you how much your favorite music sucks.
I'm offended, Matt.
I mean, that was you to the audience.
Not recommended for the easily offended, right?
Yeah. I mark every episode explicit. I just assume somebody said fuck at some point.
I said shit, shit's live AF or whatever. From
I just assume. But yeah, so let me see if I still have the you posted that on my Facebook, right?
I posted it either on yours or Jalapeno Heats.
I think you posted one of mine and a different one.
Yeah. No, I did, but I don't remember which went where. Needs more string theory. Did you see the comment thread with that moron on the one on Eddie's? It was so funny because Eddie replies, "Because needs more string theory, should have at least 50 dimensions or something." And this guy was like, "No, but like it was already a good joke because string theory has 10 dimensions in it." And he's like, "You moron!"
Yeah.
It's like, is your name Ben? Oh, did I tell you? Did I tell you what I was going to do next time I see him?
No.
So, do you know about these buttons I made? Did I ever tell you about this?
Oh yeah, no, you did. Yeah, you did.
Okay,
tell me.
yeah. I found them.
Oh yeah.
I have them.
Oh, good.
I offered Jill one.
Right.
I go, "Do you want one of these buttons?" And she was like, "Yes." And then she saw how big they were, and she was like, "No, I will have like little buttons on things." She's like, "I don't need like huge ass button saying I have a head injury."
All right, so I found the dude's thing. This dude, James Goodall, posted a video with his 11-string bass, which goes down to C sharp 0 and F sharp 0.
The thing about this bass, it's not just how many strings it is.
Yeah.
Like when you look at the cover picture, I don't know what in YouTube parlance that is. The picture that you see before you push play on the video, it looks fake.
Yeah.
No, it looks Photoshop because the dude who appears to be an average sized person is standing there, and then there's like a model spaceship strapped onto him.
Yes.
It's like most of a tree, probably. I don't know. It's insane. This is the largest. The scale length on this thing's got to be what, like 50 inches?
I don't know. It doesn't
say. I don't think.
Yeah, it doesn't say. But anyway, let's listen to a little bit of it.
You're probably gonna have to skip past a bunch of him talking.
Yeah.
Probably gonna have to go like 4 minutes in before he actually plays anything.
Definitely gonna edit that. Okay, well, let's preface this anyway, since I started to, and then it was interrupted by the thing I've been trying to load for 5 minutes. So guitars added a low B string in early 90s.
No,
late 80s.
89.
89.
Some jazz guys did it
right,
like earlier,
way early. Yeah.
But mass production,
and
Steve Vai
rock and roll guitars
got Ibanez to make him some in 89. And then the first production runs were 1990. Yeah. So they added this. So actually the thing is, what's kind of funny about this is Steve Vai actually wanted a higher string. He was trying to get a 7th string to get a higher string. But unsurprisingly, it would just break. So then he was like a lower string, I guess.
Yeah.
So he added a low B, and then this kind of blew up when Korn were playing universes that they actually tuned. They then took the B and they tuned the whole thing down to A.
Yeah. Well, and so I feel like there's two sides of it, right? There's like the technical wanky guitar player side, which is Steve Vai, and then shortly thereafter, Petrucci got one because he probably saw Steve Vai's and was like, "I need one of those too. It has more strings. I can play that."
Yeah, because on Awake
there was
like Lie, that riff is on a 7, right? He had actually, I have the I think it's the same, the original Run Black universe with the green.
Yeah, and so then all the prog guys jumped on him. But basically, after the initial Korn and Vai and whatever, after the initial 7-string boom, like a bunch of dudes realized they could just tune to that on a 6-string, and so
some people had already been tuning down because this was the thing. So At the Gates, right? That album was played on an Ibanez Maxis. Slaughter of the Soul is what I'm talking about, which I think is in C.
Sounds
and
right.
same Carcass is in C.
Yeah.
Actually, Slaughter of the Soul might be in B. I forget, but they're right. They're tuned. Carcass was tuned down on a 6. At the Gates was tuned down on a 6.
Yeah.
And right. So
I feel like there was a lot of C's, and then more B's started to pop up when some people were playing 7s.
Right.
And then other people were just like, oh, we can just tune down to B or A on a 6, and
Yeah, and it was one of those deals because if you weren't shreddy, like you don't need the high notes.
Yeah. You weren't like, oh man, I really need those high notes.
And if you don't have clean parts where you're like, well, I'm gonna play these first position chords that you learn, your first week of playing guitar, then just tune a 6 down. And there's lots of guys that are still doing that. Carcass are still doing it. Soilwork are doing it.
So what's funny is, but now there's this sort of second wave of extended range guitars.
Oh yeah, no, because it died.
Right, exactly. That's the point.
So
there was like this boom in the 90s, and then everyone was just like, "Fuck that shit."
Right, by the late 90s. So Ibanez, I think it's most accurately tracked by the manufacturing demand.
Oh yeah,
right?
absolutely.
Because in the early 90s they started making this stuff, and then it wasn't until Korn, and then they started selling all this stuff. So say around 94, they were selling a lot of these, and then they made more models, right? So the original universes were pretty wonky looking, and then they made the all black one, which was short lived, and then they made the 7620s, which were like the cheap version. So if you needed a 7-string, but you didn't have cash, like to prevent you from down tuning your 6, like they made the crappy 7620s, and then they made the fixed version one, which 7621. But then by 2001 or 2002, they stopped all of that. The only thing that you could buy was there was one version of the universe remaining, which was the crazy Steve Vai one with the eye triangle and the binding and everything,
and like the mirror pickguard.
Yeah,
the one that every band at Prog Power used for 5 years.
Yeah, right, because it was the only one you could buy.
Right, but they also managed to copy John Petrucci's haircut and shit at the time. There was always a way you could tell the guy was way too into Petrucci beyond just the guitar. The guitar was the first obvious sign, but there was always some other thing where I was like, do you have the same goatee as Petrucci or something? Something else here is way too Petrucci-like, and I feel like you're trying too hard to. Anyway, maybe.
At least they didn't have Nada cuts.
Yeah.
But so then shit came roaring back.
Yeah.
Roaring back, and so, but it's weird because the thing is, I feel like Meshuggah were a driver of a lot of this.
Yeah.
And they've definitely been the driver of getting from say 7 to 8 or 9 strings on guitar, but at the same time, Meshuggah songs have leads.
Yeah.
Even when they're not, sometimes they are really noodly, but even when they're not crazy technical, they're high up.
Yeah.
But so many of these bands don't. And the definitive example of this is the gent stick. Right?
Yeah.
Right. So this guy, he took a broomstick or something. It's just a plank of wood, and he put one string and an EMG on it. And then he went on YouTube. You should watch this video if you haven't seen it. and he recorded a cover of After the Burial, and it's amazing because it's dead on, man.
Yeah.
And he's playing the crappiest looking plank of wood. Like there's no controls. It's just an EMG and one string, and it's like bum, 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 bum.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, so all these bands like they have these crazy extended range things and like fan frets and 8 or 9 strings, and it literally is too many strings for what they're doing. They need it's the gent stick. Like that guy, the gent stick dude, he made other gent sticks and recorded other songs too.
Yeah.
He's like, you need one string for a lot of this.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. Like, it's kind of how it was in the 90s. Like, the only time anyone would use the high strings was for the one weird, like, bring kind of weird chord in, like, the verse part before they went back to the stuff. You know what I mean? Just to, like, create the space between those riffs. But the same kind of thing happened with the gent stuff, only the thing now is you play high up and you play some weird chord.
Well, you play the atmospheric part.
Right. And then you let the axe effects echo it a million ways for like 5 minutes.
No, it's so reverberated.
Right.
And like, no, because they like everybody got that playbook from Bulb.
Yeah.
But that's only like the straight up gent bands.
Right.
Like if you're in like Tesseract or what, I don't even know who else is a gent band right now. Like
Monuments, kind of. Yeah.
Like all those bands. But if you're in Born of Osiris or like After the Burial or whatever, it's all just like bum, 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 bum.
So let's back up a second. So similar to the Steve Vai thing, Meshuggah was basically the impetus for the 8-string, right? They basically they were tuning their 7s down and they wanted to go further. And then it wasn't like Catch 33 was supposed to be like all bass, but that's when instead they were talking to Ibanez and they're like, well, here, we'll make an 8-string.
Yeah,
I don't
have all the details. I don't know if that story's apocryphal or not. I mean, it might be true, it might not be. I mean,
I probably got that on Wikipedia or whatever, but that's what I've heard. Is that it started with.
But they did tons of stuff because they even re-recorded nothing because they felt like when they did it, it was wonky because they were tuned down too low for those guitars. But I mean, I think the original recording sounds better than the re-recording, in part because they changed some of the songs.
Oh, yeah.
They made some of them longer. But yeah, no, they were totally the ones driving it, and they have the LA custom shop, the LA Ibanez custom shop is making them stuff like seemingly every week. Like every time I see Meshuggah play, they have new guitars.
Yeah, we talked about that. They have Heavy Montreal.
They have new black guitars with one pickup.
Yes. If you want to hear more about their guitars that we saw at Heavy Montreal, go back and listen to one of our Heavy Montreal episodes. I don't remember which one it is. You should probably just download all 3 and then figure out which is the one that has the right stuff on it.
Yeah.
Or don't listen to it. Just download all 3 and then forget about it. Anyway, so now, okay, so for people who know how notes work, so 7 strings went down to B typically, and then 8 strings now typically you go down to F sharp. The video of this ridiculous guy we're about to watch goes down to a lower F sharp.
Well, first of all, he has an extended bass.
Right,
That's the first thing.
Now, the other interesting thing about A strings, though, is I think that the low F sharp string, which some bands, like, for example, like Animals as Leaders, tune to, like, drop E. So it's basically keeps going down to the E an octave below the standard guitar E, which I think, is it the same E as bass?
Yeah. So, and the thing is, in Animals as Leaders' defense, so like they don't have a bass player.
Right. No, it makes sense for them.
Yeah.
I'm just saying it's a common tuning, and the point is like you're basically tuning guitar the same as the bass, and
the high end of the bass.
Right.
Yeah. So there's overlap, but it's not like the straight. It's not like the first string. So I gotta say something before I say this. I count the strings in the opposite direction that everyone else counts the strings.
Oh, okay.
Most people will say the first string is the high string. For me, the first string is the low string. Okay. So when you drop your guitar all the way down to the octave down E, you're not at the bass.
Okay, so you're still
E.
one octave up from
Yeah,
bass.
but you're at the high end of the bass now.
right.
So there's overlap, but it's
Right.
not necessarily replacing, but it's still
Right.
sort of, you're in the bass's range.
Right,
Like
yeah.
you could just let the bass play that.
Exactly.
But, guitar players have to steal everyone's
Right.
thunder.
Well, and then gent bands, I think the reason that we have stuff like this guy is because some people are like, well, let me tune my bass because a 5-string bass will go down to a B, and then rather than just play the same F sharp or E that you already have, some people are like, my bass needs to go down another octave.
Right. Well, and that's the thing. Like, so if you buy a normal 6-string bass, it's just a 5-string. It's the low beat, and then the additional string is actually a higher string.
Yeah.
But some people get crazy.
Right. And then the other thing is there's now 9 strings, which I think I've never heard one sound remotely necessary.
Well, and actually I know a guy who has a 9, and he was like, I can't get, he's like, I just have it doubling the 8th string because I can't get it to sound coherent at any lower pitch, because the gauge you need to have the string not be super floppy, like you can't distort it. Just is like fuzz. There's no definition to it. So right, and that's why like a lot of bass lines, like any recorded bass you've heard, even if it's like fuzz bass or whatever, it's doubled. They're playing it clean as well.
Yeah.
Because it's just
That's why
that tone
I
doesn't
hate
work.
distorted bass for that reason, because you're like, the note is gone.
Right. And so you have to double track it.
Yeah.
But what was I saying about we were talking about the 9th string. Oh, right. But like, no. And so that's sort of the thing, like sort of that sound, that 9th string sound or whatever, for when you think about like Glass Cloud or whatever, it's not, there's no definition on it. It's the whole point of the sound is sort of this like,
So speaking of no like note definition, I think we've prefaced enough.
You're not going to be able to hear these notes. You're going to have to go forward like to 4th minutes, because he talks forever before he starts playing. Yeah, there you go. You can't hear it.
I'm going to skip the scales too, to where he plays a quote unquote song, because that's when you can really hear that.
But I need to point out, we were just listening to him play. You probably
that little
hear
rumble
it.
sound.
Well, no, but they probably heard the rumble.
Right.
But there was another note that he played that you couldn't hear.
Well, right. But I'm saying, this becomes so
it's
extra apparent,
sub-audible.
I mean, he plays through some scales, which kind of also demonstrate that you can't discern 9 out of 10 notes. Like basically his lowest 2 strings are worthless.
Yeah.
And
so I'm just going to play a song from my old band. It doesn't go down to the C sharp, but it gets down to F sharp on it. And
it's you still can't tell. Like he basically doesn't even use the lowest string.
So,
but the 2 strings above that are almost as indistinct on their own. Now, he actually moved all the way up to the 7th fret at one point there. Like he's playing like riffs. Like
it just sounds
it just
like the
sounds
same
like
note.
He's hitting one note randomly, but he's not.
Dude.
I'm gonna post the link to this because it's worse seeing it, because you can see how much his fingers move, and you're like, really? Why?
I mean, right now it just sounds like I'm on an auto body shop and like somebody's trying to start.
Someone's like starting their bike up.
Right? Yeah. But it's actually different. Okay, I think that's enough.
Yeah. Also, that's a song from that dude's band.
Right. Now, again, we need to reiterate, that did not use the lowest string.
Right.
The thing has a more unintelligible range than that.
And technically, this is an 11-string bass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's out of control. The crazy kids and their string. No, I mean the whole thing about this is suitability for purpose, right? Yeah. And it's here's the deal. Like, I love the gent stick because it shows like that's what you need. And I wish, I wish people would just be like, I need a longer scale length and just play normal. But this idea of like, well, I'm gonna make it really hard to play the 3 notes I need because I like have most of a tree that I have to wrap my hand around. And it's going to jack up the price on this thing and make it heavier. Like it's like why are you doing this?
Yeah.
And even some of the people that do stuff like, so was it Novax that made the Charlie Parker, like the fan fret 8-string where it has two sets of pickups and it has a stereo output.
Yeah, because the bass strings are considered bass strings.
Right. So he's playing a bass, but the thing that's weird about that is like, I feel like, and this is the same deal with Stanley Jordan where, so he's actually doing the whole thing, but it's like, you've just made everything really hard for yourself. Like, why not have a bass player?
Yeah.
And then you play the guitar parts.
Yeah.
Because, so for the people who don't know Stanley Jordan, know what I'm talking about. So Stanley Jordan is this guy, I guess he's technically like jazz guitar player. But he taps everything. So he doesn't play with a pick. He doesn't like pluck the strings with his hands. He puts both hands on the fingerboard and he plays it like kind of like a piano. And when you watch it, it's visually amazing. You're like, holy crap, like, how does this dude do this? But then if you listen to the disc, you're just like, it just sounds like some music.
Yeah.
And it's one of those deals where it's difficulty for the sake of difficulty.
Yeah.
And it's like the most inefficient way I could think to do these things. So all the people it's either like, you probably don't need that many strings. You probably either just need something tuned low with fewer strings, or you really just need two people, like a bass player and a guitar player.
Yeah. There's also a big trend of that kind of, like the 2-hand guitar playing on 8 strings a lot. And the thing that I noticed happens, because when like 2-handed tapping stuff first got kind of big, like
Van Halen.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like when it kind of, I want to say, sort of reached its like functional peak where like
Beach.
Yeah. Well, like you have people play like, you know, like you said, there's the kind of piano style, which has kind of one purpose. And then there's the kind of like let me play like crazy arpeggios with bigger intervals that are hard
like
to play.
The string skipping arpeggio thing.
Yeah.
But like
sometimes,
Michael Romeo and stuff.
But sometimes it's not even really like, I mean, the point is that in a lot of gent bands, you hear this a lot. And it's gotten right. The problem is, it's become such a thing on its own that almost nobody doing it, or most people doing it, aren't like stopping to listen to the notes that it sounds. At least it sounds like they're not. It sounds like they're just saying like they keep tapping a bunch of shit until they're like, oh, this sounds kind of cool.
They learned a pattern and they're playing the pattern.
Right.
Yeah.
So they're basically, and the problem is like they're not hearing that their pattern isn't like musically coherent.
Right. It's not related to what
it's
they're
like
doing.
They've spread out the notes so far visually that it probably looks really cool to them. But like when you actually hear it, it just sounds like you took like a section of a piano and you just like poke a bunch of keys in a random order.
So to tie this into the recent Popecast, but a lot of this is sort of the baggage of prog rock.
Oh yeah, definitely.
The whole thing about prog rock was the sections aren't related. It's just, it was like the more ideas you can cram into your 13-minute song, the better, right? Yeah. And so once people lost the idea that or at least down this path, that, you know, the parts of the song had to be related and that music could be developmental, which, you know, we learned from hundreds of years of classical music.
Yeah.
Then it's just like, okay, well then throw like, okay, this riff is killing it, and then throw your craziest trick over top of it, right?
Yeah.
And that, because it used to be like, throw your craziest like arpeggiated shred solo over the top, but now it's like, like my craziest looking tapping riff, whatever, where you'll be like, oh, whoa, like what is that? And you're like, it's something totally unrelated to everything else. That's why it seems totally incoherent and random.
I also, like, on top of that, to take that, like, that's one of the things that drives me nuts about gent is they've taken that a step further, and there's like also a new kind of riff where like the riff, it's like the objective is to make it sound like we threw as many, like they've taken a step further. Like instead of just having like the parts not match up, now within a part, it sounds like it's assembled from an assortment. Like, okay, we started writing like a chunky riff, and then I decided to write a tapping part, and then on top of that, there's an extra little. So it's like, and then I pasted all those together, and I get a gent riff, right? So I got my low stuff, and then it comes into like, you know, like they're like, they actually want you to know, like, we're using the lowest notes and the highest notes, and definitely some of the ones in the middle, right? But without any real reason or coherence.
Right. It's approaching Fernie Howe.
Yeah.
All the notes all the time. Like make it as complicated as possible for, you know, not in the sake of music, but just like to be a cool guy. Hey, cool guy.
Hey, cool guy.
Let's get a pizza, Matt.
Let's get a pizza. Hey, cool guy. What was I watching where there was some Russian spy named Evgeny, and I was like, Evgeny Murminsky? It was like, no.
Just think, like, any Slavic person that you meet named Eugene.
Yeah.
Probably an Evgeny.
Evgeny. Evgeny, why that berry is always hanging around here?
I want to practice my English for when I am double. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's one of these deals where I feel like it's so far gone, right? It's just feeding off itself right now.
Oh, yeah.
And hopefully it'll get to this point where, like, in a couple of years, the 9-string thing will seem so ridiculous, like the way, you know, people stop playing.
Exactly. That's what I try to tell people too. I'm like, don't worry, I saw this happen before. Like,
but actually, sort of the end game in this might actually be just like guitar kind of goes away in general. Like in the sense of like not many people are playing it.
Yeah.
I think it's already happening in terms of, because you see like Guitar Center's in a lot of financial trouble.
Yeah.
A lot of the guitar shops in New York are closing, and it's not like when all the bookstores closed, right?
Yeah.
Because it's not like everyone went to Amazon. People aren't buying guitars on Amazon.
Well, they are, but they're the shit. They're the $99 guitars.
Yeah.
Part of it is the devaluation of the guitar too.
Right, but at the same time, like I've sold tons and tons of gear over, you know, the last couple decades, and I'm having a really hard time selling gear right now. Like sometimes I can sell really expensive stuff that either is popular or was popular at one time, but like anything like cool, like niche thing that I have or whatever, or maybe something that like, say, like a hidden gem or something that I built that, plays really great, but it doesn't have a name on it. I can't sell.
Yeah.
And it's not even like it used to be, and I'm talking about New York here. Like you would post something on New York Craigslist and you would get like a ton of people would email you and they'd be like, I'll give you $20. And you're like, no, it's $600 or whatever. You're like, I'm not selling it to you for $20. Those people aren't even around anymore.
Yeah.
Because I think they won't be able to flip it because there isn't the buyer. So it used to be you would get a ton of these lowballers, and then just after a couple of days, you would get 2 emails from some people who are legitimately interested, and then one of them would actually have cash.
Yeah.
And now it's just like, no, like even stuff I've been posting on Craigslist, I've ended up like shipping to somewhere else because there just aren't the buyers.
Yeah.
Like people aren't playing guitar.
Like we were talking earlier about how the sort of market and what's being manufactured is a good way to tell what people are actually buying.
Yeah.
And that was an interesting thing because I had an argument with, I was trying to explain this to, I mean, guitars obviously are selling less, but there seem to be 2 main markets. There's like the nostalgia / dentist guitar market, and like, everything vintage and
get your relic custom shop.
Yeah. And then everything new for that market is just sort of like new and extra pretty, but
right, it looks like it should be furniture.
Yeah, exactly. And
by the way, if you're wondering why your quilt maple top guitar isn't that bright, it's because quilt maple is a softer maple than flamed maple. So if you needed that top because of the sound, you need to get flamed maple. Just a little tip. That one's free. If you are wondering about this, look up where the stuff grows.
Yeah. So, but the other thing is that, like he was trying to be like, nobody's buying these 8-string guitars, and like they didn't the first year they had them, but within like 2 years, it went from, well, we have these like 3 Ibanez's and nobody bought them. But now it's like every brand has a 7 or an 8 string.
Oh yeah, everybody has a 7. Who else has an 8?
A lot like Schecter, Ibanez, Jackson.
Schecter. Oh, Jackson does?
Literally in the last 2
I
years.
I didn't know that Jackson
Anybody remotely like that is played for metal in the last couple of years suddenly started making an 8 string, which is how I know that somebody's fucking buying them. And I think it's the younger people. They're younger dudes and girls too, actually now, because it's not the 90s or whatever. But yeah, there are younger people playing. We're having technical issues.
It's fine.
There are younger people playing guitar. I don't know how many of them or how many of them are able to spend any real money on it, but there is, and like if you go to a Periphery show, you're like, hey, don't you guys have homework or something? Like, isn't this a school night? Like, but they're there and they're buying guitars apparently, and you can tell because like, okay, it's hard.
Oh yeah, how many signature models does Misha have?
Oh man,
I think
from 3 or something.
No, he has 4 from Jackson.
Well, yeah, those are actual like production, right? His actual Jackson like production model.
But then like I thought he had all this.
He had those others, but they were all really just like customs that you could get like a copy of, basically.
How many does Ola have?
Oh man,
I know because he has the Washburn Solar, which actually I rarely see him. I feel like I rarely see him play it.
Let me.
Just gonna tack that on the end of the episode, like just like move it to the end. If you like it's the end of the episode, and then you hear me say it's not that important. I'm just talking about the puffiness of my vest, or lack thereof.
Yeah.
So what are you saying? Some traditional 8 string.
Yeah.
Oh, we were talking about how many signature models Ola has.
Signature models, and like, but yeah, 7 and 8s. Like, there's a lot of them being made, and so somebody's got to be buying them. It's hard to say.
Or all these companies could be bleeding money.
Well,
we don't know because they're not publicly traded, so it's not like we're seeing their numbers.
Well, and the funny thing is, the ones who I know are bleeding money though are not the ones making 8 strings. Like Gibson and Fender.
Well, right, no, but
money.
Fender owns Jackson.
That's true.
But then Fender was gonna have an IPO, and then they didn't. There has to be a reason.
Yeah.
And my guess, this does not constitute financial advice, is that the numbers didn't look good.
Yeah.
And they were like, no one's going to pay to own this company.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and they also after they acquired everybody, I mean, I heard some stuff that basically they're like, oh shit, maybe we don't need every guitar company.
Well, and then the other thing is, what's the deal with US Music Corp, right? Because I heard that they were either shutting down a bunch of lines or shutting down completely.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Okay, well, so what was Washburn in that?
I thought so, but I really don't know because, I mean, it's indirectly related, but they're still making those U.S. Strandbergs.
Oh, really?
From what I can tell,
well,
yeah.
Right. Well, and the other thing, like I was saying, because Ola's thing is a Washburn.
Right, I thought that they were shutting that down, but then it didn't seem to have happened.
Right, when I heard that from multiple people, but then, it hasn't happened yet.
Right.
So I don't know if that's still happening or if that's true or what.
Yeah, I don't know.
But no,
I mean, my guess is, okay, they're clearly, I'm sure there's guitar sales are not, nobody's thrilled with guitar sales.
Nobody's killing it.
But
nobody's crushing it.
I'm just saying I'm at least a little encouraged that there seem to be a fair amount of younger people picking, unfortunately with too many strings on their guitars, but at least they're picking up the guitar,
Learn to play those 6 first.
Yeah, exactly.
Tune it down.
Yeah.
Tune it down, kids. Tune it down.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping the guitar doesn't go away. I don't think it'll go away entirely.
I mean, I don't know. Stuff happens. People play other stuff.
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter to me either way because it's like, well, I'm going to do whatever I like to do. I like to play guitar a lot. I'm going to do a lot of that.
Well, yeah, that's why I'm collecting all the guitars now. So when they run out of wood.
Collect them all.
When they run out of wood,
then you'll need an Aristides. You'll need a not wood.
Right. Well, I won't need one, but I'll have. That's why I shouldn't bother with one now. I'm like, no, man, I'm buying wood guitars while I can get them.
No, you can probably get wood. The problem would be taking it across borders.
Yeah,
that's a whole nother thing. For people who don't know, the U.S. Customs Office and stuff, so they can seize your stuff if you can't prove like the origin of it, and if they do seize your stuff, you can't get it back.
Yeah.
Because they say, well, if we allowed people to get it back, then no one would go through the trouble to get the paperwork until they needed it, or, you know, to get it back. And so in order to make sure that people get this, you know, before they try to cross borders, like you know, you can't get your stuff back. So I'm very scared to take, like, if you're going to go on tour, don't take your prized possession. Go get some Indonesian Ibanez and tour with that.
Yeah.
Because if they seize that, you'll be like, oh, well, I'm out $300. But the contrary to that is like, there's a huge boom right now in like custom guitar making. Because I remember in the 90s, it was this big thing. Like, it was like, oh man, custom shop. Like, you couldn't get access to any of these custom shops, and you still can't. Like, I can't place an order at the Ibanez custom shop because that exists purely to send like endorsees guitars and stuff. Yeah. But there's all kinds of dudes who will make whatever you want. Like, you know, you just basically, like, I mean, obviously not whatever, but a lot of times you got to find whomever. But I mean, that was the whole reason I went to NAMM last year, was to find people, because I have really weird specs in terms of, I want parts they don't manufacture anymore. Where I'm like, I will send you the parts, you need to put them on a guitar, and I'm like, and I need the joins done in this way that no one does them. Like, can you do that? And I mean, I had a lot of guys, like Mike Leip was like, no, he's like, that's really cool, but yeah, that's not what I do. Like, a lot of people, you know, hey, they have their groove and they're not going to do, you know, they're not going to do some one-off for you because it's not worth their time. But there are some people who will.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm hoping that's what I'm kind of, that's my thing. Like, part of my thing is, from working in a guitar store, I was super annoyed with, again, like I was saying, the devaluation of guitar. Like, there are people who are like, well, okay, I need a cheap starter guitar, and they go on Amazon, and then when it shows up and it's like not remotely set up, like somebody put strings on it, and then we're like, it's got strings on it, ship that shit out.
Well, some of them actually aren't intonatable. Like, I've encountered ones
because they're made
like,
wrong. Yeah, they're made with the wrong measurements and the fretwork is sort of, yeah, that's the point. It's like they're
or like the nut is messed
up.
up.
They're way beyond subpar.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I know because they bring them into Sam Ash or wherever their shop is to get it fixed or tuned or whatever. They're like, why can't I tune? How do I tune? Well, the best is when people bite and they're like, okay, so they bring the guitar and like, oh, what's wrong? And they're like, it went out of tune. I was like, oh,
that's gonna cost you.
Yeah. You know, this might happen again. Why don't I just give you my number? You call me, and then whenever you need it tuned, I'll be right there. Just like $50. That's pretty reasonable, right? I'll just come over to your guitar for $50. Yeah. So, fucking people. But yeah. So, you know, like the only guitar that, like, if I tried, I go back and forth, but occasionally I would try the honesty approach as like a like sales technique. Like honestly, anything under $500 is a piece of garbage, and sometimes that worked because it was true, and sometimes people would be like, they do the whole thing where they just refuse to accept that certain things cost certain.
They're like, you're just trying to upsell me.
But could I get could I get a guitar that's like as good as that $500 one, but for like $300? Well, yeah. Give me a proposal for how that could happen, and
I'd be like, the honest answer is go on Craigslist.
Yeah. Well, yeah,
but I'm not going to get a commission for that.
Right.
Also, you won't be able to tell which one to buy, right?
It's the supposed reasoning for like selling. That's the other thing. I'd be like, well, yeah, you can get a used guitar. We can get the $500 one, get a used one for $300, and they'd be like, oh, I don't want a used one. Like, well, then you should pay more money.
Yeah, right.
Like,
I buy everything used.
How does commerce work? I don't understand. Why can't I get a better thing for the same money? It's like, because.
Are you a juggalo?
Yeah. So anyway, so that's the part of the thing. But I will say, and like the first year that we had the 8 strings, it was like your options are $2,000 or $400. That $400 8 string, that's never going to be in tune ever.
Well, the strings you're never going to be able to know what the pitch is.
Right. Right.
Pretty sweet tone on that.
We should record a gent song without guitars where we just go like and then distort it.
It's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
It's pretty smooth.
Sorry, that sounded like it went up and back down, like in the right like pitch order. That doesn't.
It only goes up. That's the other thing too.
Yeah.
It goes. It can't. They don't go up and down.
Yeah.
They go.
Right. No, it can't sound like it goes in like a coherent order or like makes a chord or something. It can't sound like an actual arpeggio.
It could sound like a diminished chord.
It could.
I feel like that's acceptable.
It is, yeah.
Because they listen to enough Cannibal Corpse albums to know that the
Right.
Alex Webster bass
and
tapping in minor thirds only. Minor thirds and try to.
Right. They know how to find dissonances, but like not why they exist.
They're everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even. Yeah, I didn't know that so many people are making 8s and 9s. I mean, I just know what Ibanez puts out because I always look and hope they will start making correct bridges again, but they never do.
Ibanez and Schecter both have 9s. Jackson at least has 8s. I mean, a lot of more expensive, smaller brands started doing 8s. That's a big part of the custom things. There's a ton of custom 7 and 8s, and there's a brand like Strictly 7s, which is literally brands that just exist to make 7 strings for people who don't want to pay like.
Now their thing is really strictly ERG, right?
Yeah,
it's the same like the website.
Also, I don't think they're very good, but
no, we played them at NAMM, and I thought it sounded really bad.
Yeah,
and I thought their XFX patch sucked, and I thought their headphones sucked, and I thought the fan on that guitar was like so insane. I was like, how do I play this?
Yeah, and and there's a lot of like, well, you can even online you see a lot of people who are just like, yeah, those aren't that good. Well, and they used to make the Strandbergs, the US Strandbergs,
the Strictly 7 guys.
They did the first run and they were shitty, so they didn't have them do it again, and they went to the US Washburn custom shop.
Okay, I was unaware.
Or maybe not custom shop, US Washburn factory, whatever.
Right, the factories. So yeah, I don't know, but like, yeah. Well, so who else is making it? You said like some smaller.
Well, okay. Let me try to think if there's anybody else big. I mean, that's probably it. I mean,
is ESP making anything or no?
Oh yeah, totally. ESP. Yeah, the other Javier. Oh, what the fuck? Javier Reyes, the other guy in Animals as Leaders, is now.
He plays an ESP.
He now has a signature or at least custom ESP. And yeah, so they're doing them too. Yeah, that's the thing. Anybody who makes like vaguely pointy or metal-ish guitars was like, let's put some more strings on them.
Oh, Comparison makes the 8.
Oh yeah. Comparison just came out with them last year or this year, and then what was the other?
They don't make a Charvel 8, do they?
No, but they do.
They don't make a Kramer 8, do they?
No. But Kramer is owned by Gibson, and Gibson are fucking idiots, have no idea what the hell's going. Nobody remotely like.
Well, no, and if you've read any of there's a lot of articles about the big dust ups people have had with their CEO.
Yeah, because they're just and no, the factory is an assembly line.
Well,
that has no like luthiers involved in it.
Yeah, well, and I've heard things about that factory, which I don't know, like. If they're not true and I repeat them here, might be
we don't need to get into
problematic.
Right.
But I've heard not good things about what goes on at that factory.
Like I said, what I just said is pretty much what I've heard, which is that they basically just hire people. It's an assembly line. They hire people to do one thing. They don't necessarily understand it. And there's not really quality control is the main thing. There's like at the end of the line, like we would sometimes get, guitar like Gibsons, like expensive Gibsons into Sam Ash that would have like the bridge misaligned or something. It'd be some horrible fuck up, and then to take it a step further, then you're like, hey Gibson, and they're like, did they break another? Just like
because they've dealt with so many of them, like they're just worn out. Yeah,
and we had shit where it was like the stores, and then it's kind of like, okay, well. They'll probably send you another one and do something. But then sometimes it's like a customer and they're like, so I got the guitar I ordered, but it's broken. And they're like, fine, send it. I sent it back to someone saying no one. Like, what? Like, yeah, just what? Just like, you know, like they're like not like, okay, great, well, let's take care of that for you. No, they're just like,
People keep calling. You think like
why do you
gave us your money, like we would be
we
done.
already have your money. Like, why do you want? Like, what do you want from us? Oh, you want a
go
guitar that
away.
works?
Just
what?
go
Right? Exactly.
away.
That's the general attitude. And I mean, there were even occasionally like, because like the one thing I try to be is like, well, you know, some of the custom shops are nice guitars, but they should be because they're 5,000 or more.
Yeah.
And, but then even the custom shop, occasionally you're like, how is there not quality control on a custom shop instrument? You know?
Right. Like the dude building it should have been like,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah. Like some of the shit that just, you're like, how did this show up in the store? You know, how did this get to here? And without some sort of like B stock thing,
right.
You know?
Wouldn't it have been cheaper to have someone play it than like pay to ship us
Yeah, exactly.
stuff back and forth?
Yeah.
I don't know.
But you know, half the dudes who are going to buy it are just going to put it on the wall in their dentist office or their blues law office. Because they're a blues lawyer.
I made
blues law.
I made some XFX patches. One was called Blues Lawyer, and then the second one, instead of I was too lazy to find the 2, I just put an S at the end. It's Blues. Also, it was a mix of a couple amps. So
yeah.
Blues Lawyers.
Yeah. Should make a patch called dentist guitar, but like it's just blank. It doesn't make any sound because you don't.
The input and output aren't connected.
Yeah, it's not connected to anything. You plug it in, but then you're just like,
You can use.
yeah, that's pretty sweet.
You can use the tuner.
Yes. Yeah. So you don't have to take it into the shop when it goes out of tune.
Yeah. No, I can't afford that anymore. I tune my own guitars now.
Yeah.
No, I use locking nuts. I never have to tune my stuff.
Yeah.
How lazy I am.
Me too, most of the time.
Yeah, I don't know. But so, yeah, I feel like the thing that's lacking, part of the reason that this goes on is there. So for a minute, right, there were, you could buy a couple like longer scale length, but only, 6 or 7 string guitars. But that's, I feel like that's
like there was
dropped
a brief,
off.
right. There was a brief, like, let's make baritones instead of 7s.
Right.
Now,
I had an Ibanez MMM1, which is
Yeah.
like 28 and a half or something.
and then there were some new baritones that popped up. See, this is what I was saying. Like, even
Didn't Ernie Ball have one?
Yeah. Well, I think because Petrucci used them, and
Petrucci.
so they made some just for him, and then I think they made some to actually like sell to people, whatever. But like even like Fender and Gibson both have some like random baritone models. Like that's how close they get to some of that. Although like, well, obviously Fender owns Jackson, and there's actually some Fender like 7 strings and stuff. So they get like they mess with it because they have the other brands or whatever. But then Gibson is just like, you want a Les Paul? You want a Les Paul, but like the knobs are different, and like there's a switch on it. Hey, how about a Les Paul? Oh, actually, no. Here's the best part about Gibson this year, is that from what I can tell, just about every USA Gibson guitar this year, and they advertise this like a great exciting feature, has the like electronic robot tuner.
Yeah, the robot tuning.
Which, if you've never used it, is a horrible piece of garbage. Yeah. And basically, I can't recommend anyone. I mean, I don't recommend buying new Gibsons in general.
Right,
but,
I wouldn't either.
Right. But
like
if for
1984.
Right. But if for some reason you were
earlier.
considering it, don't buy one from this year, because they all have this fucking tuner thing on it, which A, doesn't work very well. B, most people don't need to tune to 5 different tunings. C, if you did tune to 5 different tunings, you don't have the right string gauges for most of them.
Yeah.
And finally, it makes changing. I changed strings on more than once, I guess. But the first time I did it, it took like 20 minutes, and I had to like look up how to do it because of the way that the strings have to be wound into the freaking things for it to work. It's awful. It's so fucking bad. And you don't even know this until you buy one, and then you're like, how do you change the fucking strings on this thing?
Can you just take the machine heads off though?
It
Can
looks.
You put new ones on?
Yeah. I mean, you have to take the whole thing out, but yeah, you could do that.
But I'm saying you could leave the bridge intact.
Yeah, the bridge is fine.
Okay,
it's
you
all
just
in the
have to change
headstock,
the
right?
headstock.
But what's so crazy is like a year or two ago. Last year this was an option, right?
Right.
And we were trying to like sell people up to it. But I guess because that didn't work, they decided to make it mandatory. Like,
Just raise the price.
yeah, just raise the price on all of them.
Have you seen the PV thing? The tuning thing?
No.
So I saw there's a video of this. I haven't actually touched one, so I don't know if it's, but I'm wondering if it's the same horribleness.
It's probably similar. I mean, it started off as a third-party thing.
Right.
And they even advertised it as that brand. And then this year is when I think they changed the name, and they probably worked out a deal to like give them specific, like, I guess they were like, well, if we put them on all the guitars.
Well, they're like, right, we get a price break if we order, X number of parts, and then we can just...
And then still charge $300 on the tag price for it.
Right.
Except that you can't change strings very well. Well, no, it's the thing. So it looks
That's okay.
like...
If you're putting it on your wall,
Right.
you don't need to change the strings.
That's true. It looks like it's going to be easy. Like you take off a little like locking piece, and then you think, oh, it's going to be like a locking thing, right? You're just going to put a new string in and then tighten that thing back up. But no, you have to wrap it at like, it has to wrap around a certain way so that the machine can go both ways.
Right. No, now it makes sense because because a lot of people, right, who don't know how to change strings, like I would get their guitars and you're like, okay, you've wrapped it the wrong way because you don't know what you're doing. Right, the robot has no way of knowing.
Yeah.
And it would guide the string the wrong way. You have to guide it or else it'll it'll
it
end
has
up doing
these
it wrong.
weird little grooves, and you got to like go through like one on one side and then wrap it around on the other side. And then once you do that and tighten the thing back in, then it's like there. But like, the best, and by best I mean worst part. In order, so if you just manually turn the machine heads, like they go nowhere. Like it technically turns, but you have to turn it like 100 times instead of once to tune like a step or something.
Right. You're saying the gear ratio is like 1,000,000 to 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, but there's the thing that if you have to like put it in a certain mode so that the directional pad on it can control just winding, right? So you set it to in order to put the strings on, you have to set it to a mode where you just like you push up just to go
right. It's
just
like
to wind it up.
like a car transmission. You're moving over to the other gauge so that the gear ratio is something that you can actually turn.
Yeah. Well,
right.
and again, like you have to basically set it to push the button just to turn the thing, and then it's still fairly slow. It's a little better because that's like the speed it at least like almost like tunes at. Well, it tunes a little faster than that sometimes, but. Anyway, so
sounds horrible. They've taken a process that
really horrible.
That has been fine for most of a century.
I changed strings on one once, and then I was like, no one should ever buy this. This is horrible. Like, and sometimes it doesn't work. Sometimes it just won't. Sometimes it's one of those things where, like, once in a while you set it to a tuning and you go bring and it goes and it's in tune and you're like, oh, that's kind of cool. That's pretty fancy how it did that. And it could just change tunings for me live and stuff. But, like most, like even just a regular tuner, the sensor doesn't always pick it up right. And so sometimes you're sitting there and you're playing one string because it can't get that one fucking string in tune.
It can't find the fundamental.
Right. And so you're like, what the and so it's like, but if I just had a guitar, I could just tune it because I'm a musician. And that's the thing you learn how to do the day you buy the guitar, right?
Chances are, if you know how to play the guitar, you should
know
how to
like right.
Tune,
this is right in theory.
Wow. Yeah. Well, so that whole thing about the demise of the guitar.
That's not helping.
Well, no, because so many people they still think like they look to like Fender and Gibson and stuff,
right?
And the thing is, Fender does. I have a Fender from like just a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
That's an amazing guitar.
Yeah.
I think it's one of the best ones Fender ever made.
They're actually making like at least the Fender is like American stuff is really decent these days.
No, and
consistent.
Yeah, but like Gibson, it's another problem. But that's what most people think about. Because most people when they think like, oh, like I'm gonna go play guitar, they're like, should I get a Strat or a Les Paul?
Yeah.
And you're like, probably neither. But
there's a lot of other guitars you can get. You should get a Luke.
You should get one with 8 strings on it. I mean, 9 if they've got it, but
9 if they've got it. But if you have to, you can make do with 8.
You can get like a 9-string fanned squiggly fret. that would be.
Oh man.
That'd probably be optimal.
Yeah.
But don't get your hopes up, kid. Yeah, I don't know. At least I feel like the one thing that's going in its favor though is, like I used to have a wall of amplifiers, right? And
Yeah.
they were very expensive, very heavy, and very loud. And now I can just play software, and a lot of this stuff, and even like my requirements for being able to do that are insanely high, right?
Yeah.
So for most people, they can just get there's tons of stuff for iPad now, right? Like bias, like positive grid bias.
yeah.
And I know there's some other ones I can't remember right now. Or even if you don't want to do like that, Eventide has a thing now. What's it called? It's like the E8 or something. I can't remember, but where it's basically like all that stuff just in a pedal. And like the new Line 6, it's all that stuff in a pedal board.
Did you see they announced the X8?
Yeah.
Yeah, that they're all in one pedal board.
Yeah, but I don't know that there's amp models in there.
No, there's another one that has amp models.
Oh.
The FX8 is just effects.
Oh, okay.
They announced the Ax8. That was the thing with the dude playing some Toto song, and I was like, he picked a pretty smooth song. They just announced the price. It's $13.99.
Oh, so it's cheaper than the Helix.
Yeah. Now it only has like 8 blocks. That's the thing. It is limited. It only does 8 blocks. It only does 1 amp.
Does it have a VHD deliverance 60
It has
more?
all the same amps.
Here's
all the quantum amps and user cabs at least.
Here's what I need: 8 blocks.
Yeah.
I need a EQ, the wah, drive, the amp, another EQ, the cab, the reverb, and then the gate. So I can do it in 8. That's not true. No, the new patch, I need a multi-band compressor.
Ooh.
So maybe if I drop out some of these EQs,
and
I could play. Here's what I can do. I'm gonna have a different patch that has the wah engaged, and so it's kind of different.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I heard
I need one EQ just for the wah.
Okay.
So I could do it.
The only other limit I heard was, I think it's supposed to have all the quantum models, and I think they said all the factory cabs. I don't know how much room for user cabs there is.
Here's the thing: is you know how the Helix interface is like crazy, and you can do it right from the thing. Is it the same way, or do you need to do Axedit?
No, it's got. It's got a screen.
Yeah, but
it's got knobs.
Yeah, but I hate the.
It has knobs with
the screen on the Axe
with
too.
live LED. Well, it depends what you're adjusting. At least as far as adjusting amps, it has physical knobs with like LED lights that match.
Sure,
to the thing.
But so I want to change the amp to be KT88s, because it has that thing, right, where you can change the tubes and stuff. Do I need to then go use?
Well, you're probably going to want to use Axedit. Yeah, I don't know. It's not that different.
Yeah, but that's the thing. The Helix one is the interface is killing it.
Yeah, no,
but it doesn't have good models as far as I can tell.
Yeah, but this thing sounds great. Eventually I'm going to have to get one of these, but just for local stuff at least, just because it'd be so easy just to have one board that does everything.
Well, I would like to not. Right now, I have cabling run everywhere because it runs to my power amps and stuff, and then I have it running to the computer and the recording rig and everything. Yeah. It'd be way easier if I could just have a one little thing.
Yeah. Well, it's worth looking into.
It's only $1,300.
Yeah.
I think
the main difference between that and the FX one I found out is that the FX one is designed for 4-cable method with an amp. Mm-hmm. And as part of that, I guess they did extra
routing,
extra low noise crap,
Oh, okay.
And to time it and stuff better, whatever. So it's more designed for that.
Oh, it probably has lower latency.
Yeah.
And okay.
But otherwise, the only difference is it doesn't have the amps. And
so they actually said, when I saw that, I was like, why would anyone buy this?
Well, here's what they said.
Because the Helix has amps, and it's the same price.
Right. And so that's the idea, is that the Axe8 is, people were like, how much more is the Axe8 going to be? Because they hinted at it, but they didn't have the price at first. And they're like, it's got to be a lot more, right? Because there's the amps. The reason it's not a lot more is because all that other stuff in the FX8 makes that one much better for 4-cable method if you don't want amps. So if you don't want amps, that is way better for it.
The connectors probably added some cost. Yeah.
But exactly. And if you do want amps, then you don't need all that extra fancy shit, because somebody's like, well, could you 4-cable method with the X8? Why would you fucking want to?
Does it have an FX loop though? Can I plug my Eventide into it?
Yeah, it has an
That's
effects loop.
because I still need, because that's a problem. Like, even I can't program the Eventide stuff into the Axe. Like, I can get it super close, but then I have no processing power left to do like a cab sim or anything like that. So it's either like it's one way or the other. So
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it has an effects loop.
okay.
Yeah. So it's.
Does it have direct out? Kind of USB to do reamping?
That's a good question. Actually,
I should just read the product document.
Yeah.
Instead of asking you.
Right. Well, I mean, again, they like just. I don't even know if all that info is up yet. It's very recent. They just announced the price like 2 days ago.
Okay. Oh well, I could probably just ask Matt.
Yeah.
Not
well,
you.
there's a sub forum for it now too. They made a Fractal sub forum.
Oh,
so
okay. What's a forum?
It's where I find out what they suppose. I was trying to find out that thing about like
blues lawyers.
So remember I said like before Quantum they were all like G3 or whatever, and then they were like you were waiting for them to G3 all the amps, and then Quantum came out, and so like a bunch of other people, I was like, wait, so did you G3 all the amps and then Quantum them, or did you just Quantum them, which made G3? And they basically were like, yeah, so we're not going to tell you what any of that means because basically our competitors have been like way more on trying to like rip off ideas and stuff. So just it's Quantum now, and it's all good. So just
I think
just shut up. That was basically the response. Was like,
my guess was that the Quantum is just a different thing.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was. And it was, and I think it sounded like, well, part of the G3 that was interesting is again, if you were following it on the forum, there were certain amps they specifically were like, we're physically looking for one of these so we can like remodel it for the new thing. And so some of them, I think like they may not have done that yet, but it doesn't really matter. It's just a matter of when they get one. Like there was a big thing about the 2C Plus. And then they finally got one of Petrucci's. Like they got him to lend him one of his like collection.
Well, right, and they had the same. There was some. Didn't Paul Gilbert lend him some amp or something?
I think so. Yeah. But that was the thing. Like basically, and they and before the Petrucci one, they were like he apparently just like watches. He just buys up old amps,
right?
That he could model and shit. But. Yeah, but then for Quantum, so I found the thread, right? I was like, where's the thread where the other guys with the same question are asking it? And I found it, and the answer was, yeah, shut up, it's Quantum now. Like, basically, we can't discuss why it was called one thing and then the other.
You're like, it sounds great, you just be happy.
Right.
Just
like,
go play.
We're not going to we can't over-explain everything. Because they do like to tell you a lot of the times what, like, he likes to be like, yeah, well, now it models the caps and for, like, the boosts and whatever and shit, like really specific. And then he's like, okay, well, we probably shouldn't tell you everything about how we're doing this. But
yeah, I mean, my thing was just like, does it sound right yet? Yeah.
And that was my thing was like, okay, is it going to have the same amp sim quality? And it does. And I rarely use 2 amps. So I was like, I mean, for simple local shit.
Yeah. I have some clean patches where I use 2 amp blocks. But those aren't even like the best ones in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like I've definitely made a number of patches where it's like I mix amps, mix cabs stuff, but all the best ones, it's usually like, I just use 1 amp, either VHT Deliverance 60 more or the matchless that they have in there. It's like, I think it's a DC30.
Yeah.
It's not a Chieftain. That's all I remember.
Oh yeah.
I think it's a DC30 that for the clean tone.
Okay.
And then the Bad Cat when I want to blues lawyer it up.
And if you're listening to this right now, those sirens are in the podcast, and the popo is not coming for you.
They've been going on for a while.
I mean, they
though.
might be coming for you.
Was there a Giants game today?
Oh, I don't know.
Because I feel like there's been a lot of noise.
I was going to say earlier because I heard. Well, also my windows are open. That's part of it. But but I thought it was funny because I was like, just so you know, the cops aren't coming for you. Well, they might be, but they're also in the podcast. But yeah, the Axe FX is the magic black box of the future that.
Well, I feel like because I remember growing up, I had like there was a lot of time where it just like you just had terrible tone.
Yeah,
right. And you're just like this. Like it sucks to play on this.
Right.
And the biggest leap for me actually wasn't when I fixed my amp. It was when I got an Ibanez, and I was like, oh, like. Everything plays easily now. Like I'm actually way better than I thought I was.
But
But I feel like, right, if you were starting out now and like all you have to do is get a decent guitar because there's just software and you can plug into it and it will sound good. And the other thing is you don't even have to know how to dial tone it because you can just download someone else's patches that does know how. So it's like here.
So you can sound like Bulb, just like everybody else.
Your amp with all the settings. Well, it's like the superior drummer thing, right?
Yeah.
You sound like... No, I don't know. I downloaded his patches and I didn't use them. I was like, oh...
Thomas Haka plays drums for everybody now.
Yeah, right. Well, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Maybe some people will figure it out. Like the other thing is, I have a graduate degree in computer music, so I was able to be like, you know what this patch really needs? It's a multi-band compressor.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and like my thing, I had I still have I think it's original pod. I don't think it's even 2.0.
The Bean.
Yeah, it's like one of the original first or maybe second generation, but before like they literally called it 2.0.
Yeah,
at least.
I think I had a 2.0.
And I just used it for demos, and I was never. It was like demoable, but I was always like, yeah, the tone's not good enough though. Like people would be like, oh, it sounds good. I'm like, no, it doesn't. It sounds like shit. It's just a demo. Yeah, but you make do and whatever. And so it wasn't until like the Axe Ultra that I first plugged into a modeler of any kind and was like, oh shit, I can use this. Right. Like this will do.
Right, and now there's a bunch.
That'll do.
Right now you don't need specialized hardware. You can just use your iPad.
Yeah, exactly. And so I like I still want to have an Axe 2 just because you can do obviously way more crazy weird stuff with, like you said, you can get like kind of close to like Eventide kind of stuff. But I would totally still want to get one of those like Axe 8 pedal board ones. Just it would be so easy to like, because I'm trying to get the closest I've got to getting the Axe that portable is that I was looking at getting like a 2-button MIDI switch, so I could bring it to like just something like that's not worth bringing a huge rig like an open mic. Yeah, just bring the Axe in like a 2-space rack bag, stick that in a corner somewhere, and just use a 2-button switch to switch between patches. So not bring the NFC for like a blues jam. Like, hold on guys, let me get my 5 harmonizer.
Let me tech out.
Yeah, like my ambient gent patches.
Let me get my fan. Would you take your fan fret 8-string to the blues jam?
I did.
Yeah.
I did, just to be like, did I do it wrong? Like well the problem
Did people laugh?
The problem is nobody saw it because the 2 times I've gone to this jam, I didn't have anything like really prepared, so I just came for like the jam part. But the jam part is like the first 45 minutes when nobody's there yet. Yeah. So in fact, when I went to it last week, I went to one and I was running like 40 minutes. I was like, I feel so bad. I'm running so late. I'm gonna miss the whole opening jam when nobody's there, but I still want to jam, right? Partially for my own, like, fuck it, let's jam. Nobody's here, so they won't mind if I like because I always...
If you overplay.
Right, because I'm always like trying to like... You're like, keep it under control, don't get out of it. Right, exactly. I'm always...
Then you're like, but you just have to end it with...
Right, exactly. So I was trying to keep it under control, but I figured, fuck it. Yeah, let me bring, like last time I brought the 8-string. I didn't this time, but this time I showed up late and it was still...
Did you take my SZ? my real smooth guitar I sold you.
No, that's the one that actually Jamie was borrowing for Brutal Chains because he needed a guitar to tune to drop C. Although now he bought a 7-string, so I don't know if we're going to switch to 7s for that. But I like the idea of drop C because when else would I play drop C? Never. But for that band, it is the correct tuning. Also, it turns out most pop songs are in C.
Right, because that's how they write them.
Right, I was going to like...
finger.
Right, so here's what I was going to do. I was going to like figure out the chord progressions, and then just reduce them to number chord progressions, and then play them all in the same key. But instead, they were all in C.
Yeah.
And I was like, you fucking assholes. So,
it's like Irving Berlin had a transposing piano because he only could play an F sharp, like all black keys. Oh, yeah. And so he could move it to C. But like, everyone else just plays in C.
Yeah. So, But I did. No, the time I brought the 8 string though, the other thing that went wrong, aside from nobody hearing it, is that Jamie decided to play bass. And so I was like,
You're like, I got those notes.
yeah, I couldn't go down there because all of a sudden, I'd be trying to he would be trying to keep the foundation for me. And I'd be like, well, if I go down to those notes, then it just sounds like I'm trying to play another bass line and it doesn't work. So, right. So I was like, yeah, it doesn't. I was like, next time don't play bass. And then this time I just brought a 6 string and was like, fuck it, blues jam it is. But I had been listening to a ridiculous amount of Zappa, and it definitely came through a little. I was like, no, okay, play on. I was playing so off so much that I was like, I feel like this might be too weird. So I was like, okay, you got to rein it in a little bit.
They might think I'm terrible.
Right. They
might not sound intentional.
I know that what I'm playing is should be blowing your minds, but you might just think I'm off or up my own ass.
It's jazz, baby.
Exactly.
It's jazz.
Yeah.
I gotta listen to the notes he's not playing. I can listen to those at home.
There weren't many of those though, because I play all the notes.
I played all the notes.
Yeah.
It's pretty smooth.
But one of these days I'm going to actually prepare something so I can play when there's people there during the actual.
What kind of something would you prepare?
I don't know.
What a fool believes?
Maybe. I don't know. It'd be kind of tricky with just me and a guitar and random people that I at the last minute get to back me up.
Okay, maybe some Hall & Oates.
I was just going to do some backing track shred or something. Oh. Make some up that Jamie can play the rhythm part too. Be chill on that. Just basically give them a better
E. Boom, boom,
just
boom,
give
boom, boom, boom,
basically
boom,
just
boom,
come up
boom.
with a better groove to solo over than the default blues thing. Because whatever
well, I got it for you. It's the bass line is E. It goes boom, 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 right? And then it's A. Boom, the same line. So you just go, and then you just move it over a string. Yeah. E to A. Back to E.
For a second, I thought you were going to go. It's boom, 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 boom. Oh wait, that's Black Star.
Yeah. No, but you see what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, totally.
That's the formula.
Right. I just wanted a little more of
you vamp on E.
Right.
You go to A.
Well, whatever
you go back to E.
Actually, Jamie randomly picked out a much more interesting progression. I mean, not that much more interesting. It was still basically a blues progression, but with a 13 chord thrown in, and I was like, Jamie, is that a 13? Ho, ho, ho. Now we're cooking with blues. It was still pretty much a blues jam, but that was the one where it gave me enough where I was like, oh man, I'm starting to do all my outside weird I'm trying to go for this Zappa if he ever practiced the guitar kind of thing. That's kind of what I'm going for. But yeah, so it didn't totally blow their minds, but that's because there was only 2 people there. But there's always the one guitar player who was there to be like, hey, that was pretty
smooth.
Cool. It's pretty smooth. But yeah, I don't know. If I could totally do if the actual supposed to get together with the Yacht Fusion whatever band sometime soon. Just waiting on the bass player, of course. But
well, it's not that important. Just talking about the puffiness of my vest. You're totally gonna leave that in.